Hello and welcome to Cookery with Mason Storm. In today's episode we will look at making some garlic cheese bread. Now this recipe is a modified version of the one we used previously on the beer bread and on the cinnamon bun. My inner alchemist wanted to find out what else this could be adapted to. As such, this is what I came up with. Enough of the introduction, let us begin. 5 cloves of garlic, 1/2 cup of oil, 1½ tablespoons of baking powder, 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1/3 cup of honey, 1/2 cup of melted butter, 1 cup of milk, 3 cups of flour. Okay, we'll get our cutting board to start with and grab our garlic. We're going to proceed to cut our garlic nice and small. What we're going to be doing right here is setting up to make some infused garlic oil. There's a lot of different ways to make infused garlic oil. The better ways take a lot longer, where you cook the garlic and the oil together for hours, 24-48 hours at a really low temperature. Or adding garlic to oil in a jar and leaving it for a prolonged period of time. A lot of different ways to make your infused garlic oil. What we're going to be doing is the faster way, and that will mean that we'll be able to eat our honey garlic cheese bread today. So now that it's all cut up, we'll go over to our stove here, get a small saucepan, and turn our heat to medium-ish. Dump in our oil, our garlic, and then we're just going to let this kind of cook away for a little bit. Got to get it kind of simmering. Now, one of the tricks to doing this is you don't want to burn your garlic, because that tastes horrible. So we're aiming for a nice gentle kind of simmer, and if it starts to get too hot, just turn the heat down. I think I had to turn it down a little bit once it got going, just to prevent it from overcooking the garlic. And just do this for about 5 minutes, which is really enough time to make the bread while it's kind of going. But just give it the occasional stir, and it won't be long till you have some infused garlic oil, which is quite good and can be used in a lot of different recipes as well. It's not a bad idea to have infused garlic oil at the ready for different recipes, because it's so useful and so versatile and what it can be used for. And of course, if you're going to do that, you might as well do the slow method just on a weekend. Just make some garlic oil. It's also a lot cheaper than it is to buy actual garlic oil. Also, you could add different things to it. You could have your rosemary. You could make a lot of different infused oils with this same kind of technique. Moving forward, it's time to make our bread. So we'll start by adding our flour, and then we'll add our salt and baking powder. We'll give this a little bit of a gentle mix to make sure it's all combined. Now we will add our honey and some of our butter. The amount of butter that you add will determine the hardiness factor of this bread. I didn't really add any butter at all, so it made it incredibly hearty. But I wanted to have a point of comparison for the next time when I make this recipe, where I add all of the butter to it. I want to know which way I like best. So if you make this bread, let me know in the comments below how much butter you added to it. Now we'll just continue with the mixing process. And once it starts to kind of absorb all of the flour, or if it's not mixing the greatest, dump it out on your desk and kind of knead mix it, because sometimes that works better for incorporation. I usually have pretty good luck with it on the desk, as opposed to mixing it in the bowl. Okay, now that it's basically done being mixed, just knead it a little bit more, then we'll let it sit. Now we'll get our pan ready. So we'll butter our pan, which probably isn't completely necessary, but I don't like things to stick. And then we'll get our bread dough and our butter. What we're going to do is we're going to roll our dough into little balls and then dip them in butter and then put them on the pan. Just small little pieces like this. We're just gonna take our time, try to get them as close to the same size as you can so they'll all cook kind of the same. I'm kind of packing them all real nice and tight together here at the start. I'm just doing that so that I can get them all in the pan, and once they're all done, then I'll distribute them so that they're spaced out more evenly. And once we're done with that, our oil should be cooled off for the most part now. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour our infused oil over top of everything through a strainer so we don't get too many garlic chunks in. Now if you want it to be more garlicky, add more of the chunks to the bread. It will increase the garlic factor significantly. Then we put it in the oven, and I'm just going to cook it for 10 minutes at 375 degrees. This lets them kind of expand a little bit, so that when I put the cheese on, which I'm going to be grating right now, a combination of mozzarella and Parmesan cheese, that because they're expanded, it won't get underneath them as much. Now we'll get them out of the oven, and we can see they've already expanded quite a bit. So we'll just take our cheese and try to cover them all evenly. And then we'll put it back in the oven for another 25-30 minutes until we have a more golden brown color. And it doesn't take too long from there. So we'll just pull them out of the oven now, and we're done. Serve them while they're nice and hot, that way the cheese is still all stringy. And let me know in the comments below what you think of this style of cheesy bread. It's quite easy to make and quite quick to make as well. And if you liked the video, push the like button. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe. And until next time, stay awesome.